Okay. So, hello, my name is Kim, and today I'm speaking here with Brad, a very talented, friendly, and easygoing, my friend, and also like the teacher, and he here to help me to organize an event with my students. So, Brad, can you tell us something about yourself?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've been living in Vietnam and for right about 10 years already. But at this point, one thing I enjoy is doing large events, like all-day events, and working with a lot of kids, because I really think that enthusiasm that the kids have, sometimes it's bad energy, but hey, I think you can see when we get everyone together, it turns into good energy, So I think being able to have fun and do a game together and cheer each other along and just watching kids laugh, but along the way, you can also see that I like to focus on using actions. Like a lot of the sign language.
Yeah.
And you can see by the end of one class, the session, they can learn 20, 30 words or more, and we can make games with it. Yeah. So I think of doing a day like this, it's not a classroom. It's more of an event. It's a playtime. It's a whole day,
Right.
And I think that's great.
Yeah, so when you organize an activity like this, what do you prepare yourself? Like, how do you prepare yourself to make it? Because some kids, they are very, they behave well, other kids they may be naughty and active. So how can you manage to do it?
Oh yeah, it's really the best way to do it is I like to have about 100 different ideas, 200 different ideas already in my mind. And then once I get there, I can actually meet the kids and see how their mood is. Some really want to focus on learning, teaching, take out a notebook. Other kids are like, no way, we just want to play cards. So I think you've got to feel out the group. And in this case, after I got to know them, I can find what really works, with them, and what really gets them excited. So, and I would say part of the prep is having a lot of ideas, but also working with what we got, in the room here, making the most of it. Making the most of the board and making the most of TV, or if we have some sports toys, make the most of that. If we're in the park, now we can go and look around the park. So you've always told me, just be flexible, and see what you've got there and do the best of what you got. So I think a good other prep is have 10 years experience, and then you can just show up and we'll make it work.
But it would be easy for us to teach some kids who are interested in learning English, but some, they don't have any interest in learning. So how can you motivate them to learn? Like some kids, they are too lazy and they don't have any interest in learning. So how can you motivate them?
There's a lot of ways to do that. And a few examples are I find out what they enjoy. In some cases, maybe they just only like Spider-Man and playing games. Well, hey, let's look at some videos of Spider-Man and what can we learn from this? Where are they? Oh, they're in a city. He's jumping, left, right, up, down, in, out. So I love to just take what they like already and just expand on it. I find that's the best. And that can happen online. And, of course, it can happen in classrooms as well. Just, again, find what they really like already and do that.
Yeah. So you have been teaching English for Vietnamese students many years. So do you see any problem? The way, Vietnamese students learn English, do you see any problem? And do you have any advice for students here to better their English?
When it comes to learning languages, I learned a lot of my languages, including Vietnamese, just by talking with people. And so less academic, less homework. The languages I know the best, I had almost no homework. But I really focused on what do I need in order to do this fun thing. So I think find a part of life that you enjoy. Maybe that's a sport. Maybe that is online playing games. But find an environment you enjoy already, and then put English, in this example, put English as the main way to use it. So if you're going to game online in English. If you're going to meet people who already speak English.
So the problem is if you compare Vietnamese people with foreigner in the world, you see Vietnamese people, they are very lack of confidence and too shy, It's not easy for Vietnamese people to talk to foreigners. So I think it's not easy for them to walk out there and find some foreigner and talk to them. So I think it's not easy,
Sure. I would agree with that. And the other thing is a lot of foreigners, maybe they're busy with other things. They're just normal people, so maybe they're not interested or who knows what, you know. And then which question do you ask? And I think a lot of folks are right away, their default, how old are you? Where are you from? You know.
So kind of answering the same question all the time, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, I did, for one example of something I like to teach the kids and adults, is what are some more casual, easier greetings, you know, like, how are you? You know, or something a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Because if a person hears a new hello, a new question, you know, instead of the basic, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. If they hear something new, just one or two new things, it'll catch their attention. And that makes meeting friends so much easier. So I would say learning more slang and learning something is more funny.
But it will be not enough for students here to do it when they go to school, you know. Here, they have to do a lot of homework and tests and examination.
Sure.
It's not easy for them, so they have to study like, you know, academic.
Sure.
Like the way you study here, too academic, right? It's not used in real life. So it will be able to be useful for students. I can see that.
Yeah, I suppose. So have a mix of both if you can.
Yeah.
You know, and people are. I have met a lot of people who do play games, and they are on chat rooms all the time in English in this case. And a lot of cases, their English is excellent. You know, because it's something they want to use every day. You know, so but yeah, you have to do both. Do a little academic and studying, of course. You know, but also have fun with it. I think is the main idea. And so the idea here too of what you're. You know, Miss Kim, is you want to mix both of those, right?
Yeah.
You're right at let's learn the academic part, sure, but let's have some fun with it and let's play some games and if we can, get outside.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that is exactly the style that I think is the most effective, you know, using action.
So you just told that you have been studying some other languages?
Yes, ma'am.
So what the way you used to study? You teach yourself another language?
Yes. So yeah, I've got a different strategy. There's a lot of people in the world that are they are field linguists. That means they go out to new areas, learn a whole new language, and that's their job.
Yeah.
And so I just follow their system. In this example of Vietnamese, I just wrote down a personal statement. Hello, I'm Brad. I am from America. I like watching football. I'm a salesman. Blah blah blah.
Find native speaker to talk to them?
No, in that example, I just took that and I had a Vietnamese speaker read it out loud. And then I saw the text. And then I could basically learn how to write and learn how to read. And that whole thing took me about 1 hour. Then I could speak that section. Perfect. Then to learn 10 words, for example, 10 verbs. Go, think, say, do, you know, be, on, you know, something like that. I learn the important ones. I can learn 10 words in 10 minutes. And really, if you have 100 words, you're doing pretty good. So basically, in one afternoon, I can go from never heard Vietnamese in my life to, hello, xin chào, tôi là Bảo, tôi đến từ Mỹ. Tôi đã thích đi xem bóng đá, và tôi đã ở đây ở Việt Nam và Thái. And people are just losing their mind. And I'm like, yeah, that took me an hour. You know, so I'll do that and then add words. But I'll add them 10 at a time. And what if I'm going to go see fish and go fishing today? Fishing pole, fishing stick, hole, hook, cahoy. Got it. You know, so I think just preparing for what you need that day, you know, is really it. So when I show up to Vietnam, people think, oh, you spent years and years and years. And I'm like, no, it's an hour. And then when I go and talk about, you know, trees, I'll study ahead of time, 10, 20 words, and I show up and they're like, you are just like an expert on this, and I cheated. Yeah, you know, so I think finding the quick, easy ways to cheat, the shortcuts, is what I really like to show kids. And I love to show adults as well, kids everywhere. There's a lot of shortcut words in English, lazy words. And I think a good example is the word get. I arrive home, get home. In the morning, I get up. You know, and then I get some coffee, and then I get in my car, and then I get to work, get together, get a phone call. So that's one example where it's one lazy, easy word, but now you can say 100 things. So I find that to be fun with all age groups, is showing short.
The right way for you to study, it will be much easier for you, right?
Yeah, pick what's important. Just choose what's important is what I mean, you know. So when I see lesson plans sometimes, and I'm like, you don't need that, you don't need that, no, we don't really use that. There's like, I try to pick things they will use the most, that matter the most.
Yeah.
So I think that's really one of the main secrets for me learning Vietnamese or any language. But yeah, certainly learning English too. Find the important ones and focus words and focus on them.
Yeah, okay, I learned lots of like interesting things from you. So to like a wrap up, the last question I want to, it's not a question, but I want to hear something about what you think about like this is the second time we work together, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hear something about the way I should like, can give me advice about how to my work now. Do you think it's good, or do you think I should do something to improve it? You know, like I need some advice because it's like new. I need to know something about the way I'm doing my work now. Like anything good, anything bad, and what I should do to change, to make it better in the future. And do you have any advice for me?
Well, you're right. We've only worked together these 2 times. Yeah, I would say if I have a really good idea, well, the communication part, like if I know already we have a TV, we have a whiteboard, or we have the ingredients we have, that's really helpful. And you've been good about that. Like when we were talking together, you even helped me prepare ahead of time. But I was just going to say, what do we what ingredients do we have? But then again, once I showed up here, I saw it anyway, and we made it work. So, but no, the best thing I would say is exactly like you're doing. Choose a whole day and do get everything done in one day.
Yeah.
You know, instead of 2 hours one day and 2 hours a different day.
Yeah.
Just pick a day. Just pick a whole Sunday or a whole Saturday. I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because you can focus all of your energy. You know, this sort of whole morning, you got one thing to do all day.
Yeah.
And it's good for the kids. They get a long time here.
Yeah.
And it's good for me, coming by to visit, because it's just like when we were talking together, you even helped me prepare ahead of time. But I was just going to say, what ingredients do we have? But then again, once I showed up here, I saw it anyway, and we made it work. So, but no, the best thing I would say is exactly like you're doing. Choose a whole day and do get everything done in one day.
Yeah.
You know, instead of 2 hours one day and 2 hours a different day.
Yeah.
Just pick a day. Just pick a whole Sunday or a whole Saturday. I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because you can focus all of your energy. You know, this sort of whole morning, you got one thing to do all day.
Yeah.
And it's good for the kids. They get a long time here.
Yeah.
And it's good for me, coming by to visit, because it's just easier. Come by once and we're here all day. So I think that your strategy of doing a full day is excellent. It's good for kids. It's good for everybody. And maybe you will have some kids that do want to stay for the whole day, or come for morning and night or something.
Yeah.
And I think if you have a whole day, it gives you more flexibility. Maybe you want to go to a new location, right? Or
It's good for us to like change or maybe make it a flexible plan, right?
yeah, that's right. If you do a whole day. So I think I really continue doing that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
But we're, like you said, we're just getting started, and we're trying to feel out how is this going? How do kids like it? You know, and so I think doing what we're doing is staying open-minded and really watching and paying attention, and asking folks afterwards, what did you like? What did, do you want to come back next week? Something like that. But let's continue exploring. And I think that the last time we worked together and this time was very different, and I'm sure round 3 will be very different from all of that too. So let's just keep exploring.
Yeah, must be better, right?
Let's keep exploring to the full day. There you go.
Okay, thank you so much. So do you have any last word for me? You want to send your post today?
Sure. I love, Miss Kim experimenting and really focusing on the all-day style here like this. And it really gives a great chance for a guy like me to get to know the kids, get to know their personalities over an afternoon or over a whole morning. So I really like this style, and I overall think it's a real interaction. So if you've got kids that want to have, more of a fun day, I think working with Miss Kim and going with this style out here, is a great choice. And like we said, every single time is going to be different, different location, and so I think it's a real adventure. So yeah, I'd encourage you to check it out and find out the new locations. Miss Kim might be going, and we'll go from there.